Stop me, forget it. I don't need your cosign. I don't need your credit. I don't need
It. We both saw it, and I think the movie grew on me. When we first talked about it, I told you it wasn't bad. I think that was my first comment of it. It wasn't bad.
You sounded very skeptical.
But now, whenever I talk about it to anyone or think about it, that movie keeps getting better and better in my mind.
Well, think about it. Last year when Stranger Things came out, focused solely in the 80s around a bunch of kids, right? Even one of the actors from Stranger Things. So I don't know. To me, like I was the whole time I was like, man, this is kind of like the weird vibe and the 80s music and the themes like it brought me back to when I was a kid and going to the creek with your friends and just talking shit and whatever. So it was a nice nostalgic thing, and yeah, man, Pennywise.
Pennywise
It
was
just
great. Like to your point, the setting, the '80s setting was well done. Very believable world that they created instead of this being set in the 1950s, like the
mhm.
TV movie and the book.
It's both, yeah.
But Pennywise he had to be good. He had to be for this movie to work.
You know, and I've seen a lot of people comparing Tim Curry to Skarsgård. It's not fair.
hmm
You
That's
know,
like,
you
yeah, they did that with the Jokers too.
you can't. It'd be one thing if Tim Curry, the Tim Curry thing happened, and then like 2 years later they came out with another one. This is a whole different medium. You're talking about a TV movie with if you watch that thing, it's yeah, it's good and it was creepy, but it's pretty bad. Like special effects and it's pretty silly. It's low budget. It's a TV movie. You're talking about two different things almost 30 years later. So the advances and everything, and you know, it's just not fair to compare the two by any means.
I wasn't the whole time I watched the movie. I wasn't even thinking about the comparison between the two. I wasn't sitting there, you know,
I wasn't either. I
wondering.
just I've seen so many articles, I've seen YouTube videos, and it's like, stop it,
It's a
just
waste of
stop,
time. That's a waste. That's a
stop it.
bunch of hot air and people bored trying to
Hmm.
come up with something to say. Enjoy the movie for what it is, and it is a great movie.
Yeah,
It may not scare everyone. I didn't go there expecting to be scared because I'm pretty difficult to scare.
no, you're
But
not.
yeah,
Stop it.
as far as horror movies go, you put a spider in front of me, okay, I might scream.
Well, the for me, I mean, I've only been to a couple movies this year, but I put that up there, man. Like,
It as far as being scared, it did its job for people who enjoy that kind of stuff. As far as a movie telling a story, I enjoyed that even better. It was a
yeah,
great story, even
yep.
without the horror element, even without being afraid. I didn't need to be afraid to enjoy it. I loved it. And like I said, it opened up so many other questions for me. It makes me want to read the book. It
The
makes me want
book,
to go
yeah,
back and rewatch the TV movie just to
yeah,
see. And
it,
I want to see it again.
yeah, for sure. It was man, it was just good, like you said. There's no other way about it. Um,
Pennywise was great, but also the supporting cast, the children.
the children were
I
fantastic.
hate child actors, and these guys were terrific.
Even the adult actors, the few that were in there,
Oh, they
were
were
great.
creepy. The adults
They
were
were
creepy
all
as
there's. You could
hell.
tell that this town. Well, they made it. Um, they made it obvious that Pennywise has had some effect and is having some negative effect on this town. You know what I mean?
What?
Like his presence.
Why? I
Well,
don't
that
get
just
it.
might be. Well, see, the movie doesn't really get into um, a lot of the. It's a very, because Pennywise is a cosmic being, right? And his enemy, his sworn enemy, is also a cosmic being, which just happens to be a turtle. And so they didn't get into a lot of that stuff, and I'm very interested to see um, how they're going to handle this second chapter. If they're gonna dive into any of that, if is that because some people be what, like the ritual of chewed. What is that? A turtle? Uh, You know, the turtle basically created our universe by it had a stomach ache and it puked, and that's where our universe came from in Stephen King's world, and he and Pennywise are mortal enemies. Pennywise's natural form is just a bunch of energy. He doesn't have, the human mind can't comprehend his form.
So that's what we saw when he opened his mouth.
Those lights, yeah, and the scene where Mike is walking to the, where he sees Pennywise and his glowing eyes. It's kind of a nod to it.
Wow.
And there's just so much that they didn't even touch on, the fact that, and some of it was good, right? They left out the universal monster thing, right? So they probably couldn't use them, but that'd be kind of silly anyway.
Yeah.
Some of the kids were afraid of the Frankenstein's monster and the creature from the Black Lagoon and the Wolfman and that kind of thing. And
they did good with the fears that they had.
Oh yeah, the leper. That was even that scene though was extremely toned down from the book, man.
Oh really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, if they want to create a Stephen King universe, the cinematic universe, like Marvel has done, like DC has done, then I think they need to open up with the cosmic mythology of this world.
Well, see, I think Dark Tower tried to do that.
Try.
Now, I didn't have a problem with Dark Tower. I thought it was a good movie. I just think there was too much cut out of it.
It felt rushed.
I really think I'm very interested to see the Blu-ray when it comes out, to see how much was cut out, because it did. It just was. I mean, it was a good movie. It just jumped. Like I would feel like, wait a minute, like and it was just go. It was just
very little backstory given to it. Couldn't really take your time getting to know these guys, getting to know the characters. You like the actors, but the ending just came so fast. It felt like this should have been at least a 2-part movie, or it could have been multiple movies. It didn't feel like the Man in Black should have been defeated so quickly and easily.
Yeah, and I really liked Matthew McConaughey in that role. I thought he did good. I don't care what anybody says. That's my whole argument with people these days is, and maybe it's been like this the whole time with movies, is this mob mentality, right? Where people, if the popular opinion is, oh, this sucks, then what? I don't want to be the unpopular one. I want to be with the rest of the crowd, even though I probably did enjoy it, but I'm not going to dare speak my own mind.
I don't think it wasn't a bad movie. They make it out to be 2017's worst movie ever conceived, and it's not the case. It's enjoyable.
What was this like?
I won't watch it over and over and over and over again, but that's just because it doesn't have the same kind of details like it has.
If they put out some kind of director's cut or something, and you see where it's like, hey, there's like 30 more minutes of stuff, and you're like, oh, okay. But yeah, it by far is a superior film.